Take two, because the dog is acting up again. So this week's Who Would Win is again my Bleach Espada versus one of the Lantern Corps members fight. And this week it is Carol Ferris, the Star Sapphire, like the main Star Sapphire, and I'll get the name right when I actually look it up. Tier I know it's Harribel is the last name. Third Espada. And I chose this one for them each to go up against not because they're both women, because Indigo One's also a woman, but because of what they represented by their emotional and by basically what encompasses them. Basically, Star Sapphires are driven by the emotion of love, whereas Harribel's aspect of death is sacrifice. So I felt that basically worked the best with the going up against the aspect of love. So starting with the Carol, she stands at 5'7", 125 in terms of weight. Basic Lantern powers all embodied by love. Laser, energy beams, constructs, energy force fields, flight, the whole shebang. But she has a few unique abilities to Sapphires. You know, crystalline. She can create crystalline constructs. She can also encompass an entire world in crystal, or opponents in crystal, and put them in a suspended animation. I would assume anyone strong enough to break out of that could break out of that. She's limited regeneration like any other Lantern. Love sight, she can see love. She can find the one she's in love with from across the universe, more or less. But that being said, all depends on her love for that individual. In Carol's case, it was Hal Jordan. And in the scenario that we're going to pinpoint this fight in, or we're going to place this fight in, that will play a factor. With Harribel, she stands a little taller at 5'9", and is a little heavier at 135. Now, normally the statistics don't matter very much, but when you're dealing with some individuals kind of like Atrocious versus Yami, for instance, the physicality mattered because that's a fight where they're actually going to be physically duking it out for a while. In Carol's case, that doesn't matter. Harribel's case, it does because she's going to do a bit more physical work. She's very calm, she's very calm, tactical, level-headed, analytical. She's probably among the calmest of the Espada in that regard. Say maybe Ulquihora, Stark maybe as well. But she can be very aggressive when she's betrayed or someone she cares about is threatened. She doesn't like killing, but she will when she has to. She's a sword master. Her Zanpakuto, which is Tiburam, is usually kept on her back. She does that. She unsheathes it. It's not the standard katana. It's got a hook on there that she can use to unsheath it. She's ambidextrous. She uses both hands. It's maybe about a foot shorter, maybe about only 2 feet. I can't remember the actual general length of katana. It's not as long as a normal katana, though. It's a little on the shorter side, almost a wakizashi length, but it's a lot thicker and a hollowed-out blade to channel energy in. She's a Senile Master, Sword Master, so she's super fast, highly skilled physical combatant, uses Sero generally, or she can channel energy through her blade to use basically launch the projectile of energy towards an opponent, almost in the form of Shark Tooth, basically. And later on, she has an ability that does that as well. She can also fire Zero and a large arcing wave, so it has length and range. The release command for her blade is Destroy. Now, let's talk about the fan service of this real quick. Harribel, of her character design, she's an attractive woman character design-wise, but her mask covers the vast majority of her face, her neck, her shoulders, and her breasts. They don't show her nipples, but it shows a lot of underbreast. Her release, still not showing anything technically inappropriate, reveals a lot more skin. It looks almost like a freaking barbaric caveman ballerina dress, almost. With her blade now more or less a giant shark tooth, at least 4 to 5 feet long, that she's holding in her right hand, just overarching. All of her abilities are somewhat enhanced, and her main ability after that is to basically water manipulation. She can summon water. She can control water. Now, one of many of the abilities, she infuses her sword with energy and water, fires a high focus slash that can basically cut. That's what she used against Hitsugaya in her fight. That basically cut through his ice clone. It's just a fast, quick slice that just cuts down pretty much anything in its path. I'm gonna probably butcher some of these pronunciations, but Hirvendo, which boils any water around her and redirects it, more or less. So she can control boiling water as well, heated water, which is why it was an owl of attrition versus the ice and the water. She just controlled it and then launched it. Gota fires a concentrated water shaped like a shark's tooth with enough force to demolish basically a building, and she can do this in rapid fire. So just boom, 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 building gone, building gone. Then basically her last massive attack is more or less that we know of. We don't know if she has any other techniques. Cascada summons and controls a super massive amount of water that launches a giant column towards an opponent. Can pretty much destroy several blocks of a city. It's just this massive concave of water just going whoosh down. That being said, though, she's not invincible by any stretch of the means either, due to the fact that she was cut down by Aizen. Was saved, actually, it turns out, and by the end of the arc, and used to help keep Hueco under control, and then was easily beaten by Ewok and his Sternrunners and kept captive. So she's not invincible either. Now, the way I see this fight breaking down is, again, they're somehow in Hueco. They all split up, and then Carol Ferris comes across Harribel, who's waiting. It's because sometimes it's pronounced Harribel or Hollybell. I'll have to really look up the actual pronunciation later. But so she comes. They have a brief exchange, and then the fight begins. So Carol's just like, okay, we need to get this. We need to go. I need to save Hal or something like that. So she's just going to start going flat out blasting energy blasts. So, Harribel's probably more than fast enough, probably, because she is ranked as the third strongest one, just in terms of her energy levels alone, and just avoiding just boo, 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 and then she just drops. She immediately, though, unlike Hitsugaya, she immediately understands that she doesn't want to take it easy on her, but she, because of Aizen's rules, you can't release your Zanpakuto if you're in the top 4. Into Hueco because it might destroy Hueco itself. She'll just sink, take her blade out, and then just crash right into her with energy coming off her blade. They'll clash. Now, I think I'm going to say that any of the top 3 espadas right now, when honestly going near full force, or at least putting effort behind it, could probably crack a basic energy shield, force field of a lantern. Because at that point, that's energy classing with energy, and if usually their lantern's probably not going to expect their opponent to be that strong just to crack them. So, and Harribel does not hold back either. She might not like killing, but she'll still do it. She probably isn't going to be holding back, and so she's got an energy imbued blade coming down, just boom, cracking against her, and Carol goes flying back. She's got a cut, even though it's kind of healing up. She's like, ah! So now she's got constructs. She's probably like firing crystal. A lot of her constructs are probably going to be crystal-based, at least. She's probably got like a rain of crystals. Harribel then swipes them away with a Sero, just wide arc and just or whatever the sound is. Then they'll go out again. It's going to be like, but that being said, her love for Hal, also Hal being nearby in this fight, because that's the way I figured this one would go down. She's gonna get, her powers are gonna start slowly strengthen by the fact that she's doing this for Hal, to maybe save Hal, or to be with Hal in the end. So she's not what's the word I'm looking for? She's not gonna back down because she has something to fight for. But so does Harribel. She can't let her win because she doesn't want to feel the sacrifice of her subordinates for her. She would rather sacrifice for them. So, but that doesn't strengthen her. That's the difference between the two of them. Unlike, say, Yami's rage ability to actually do empower him more, her sacrifice doesn't empower her any more than anything else. So, as the fight goes on, she's going to do less and less damage to Carol. Carol's going to start getting some damage in, so she's going to realize we're going to have to take this fight out of Hueco Mundo, above the ceiling. So, she's more or less probably going to just get Sonido right under, and then use her blade, blast her with the, what was it again? The Oya Azul. So, blast her, and then she's gonna actually do something like Ukiura or Ichigo did in their final fight, where she's gonna maybe take her shoulder or take her head and kind of just force her above the clouds, like, okay, now I'm gonna release my Zanpakuto, and then destroy, and then. So now they're both in skimpy outfits, catfighting to the death. Yeah, can you imagine what this would actually look like? Because Carol Danvers does not wear the most modest of attire. I keep saying Carol Danvers, sorry. Carol Ferris. Star Sapphires don't normally wear the most modest of attire. So, yeah, so that's all you geeky, nerdy, pervert fanboys, start just typing your fan fiction right now. So then I started fighting, and then I realized you're wrong, and then I started making out, and it's awesome. Yeah. So anyway, Rule 42, Rule 35, 6 or something like that. Rule 32. So the rule where if it exists, there's porn of it. So have at it, perverts. Anyway, so she released her Zanpakuto. Now the fight regains a bit of an even ground. So now they clash again. Only this time, not only is there far more power behind the strikes of Harribel that Carol Danvers has. Keep saying Danvers. That's Star Sapphire. I'm just gonna keep saying Star Sapphire. That Star Sapphire has to. I'm just gonna say Sapphire for short, just to make it easier on my vocabulary skills, because my grammar skills are actually quite solid, but my vocabulary skills and my pronunciation skills do require work, and sometimes my mind and mouth don't move at the same pace, so I will stutter, I will kind of talk over myself, and I will not get the right word out when I need to. Anywho, so Sapphire is going to take another big hit, but this time an energy blade with Harribel's mega shark tooth sword. It's going to hurt a lot more than the other one, so she's going to take another back blade, or not back blade. She's going to be driven back. So now maybe some energy energy just tentacles or something like that, because she actually did this to Hal in one of the movies. These tentacles of energy just come out, try to get Harribel, but Harribel just does her 1 second. What was it was actually, I think it was called Trident. So basically she just uses slashes them. They get sliced. The parts that got sliced off dissipate. Tentacles maybe keep going, grow back, and then may try tying Harribel up. She just basically uses her energy to force the water out, more or less. Or force the tentacles out. Water suddenly starts coming down with Cascadia. I'm calling it Cascadia, whatever. Giant massive column of water just is summoned from the sky, and then Carol, it is Carol at least, Sapphire, just immediately has to get out of the way. However, Harribel can manipulate this, so she just flashes it. She just suddenly gets blasted by a column of water, boiling water. But her shield probably can at least hold up to the temperature, not the force of it though. The force of it is just blasting her, but she's still good. So then, now she's feeling it. Now Harribel's just on the offensive, just shark tooth water blast. Again, what was that? That was La Gota. So La Gota. So blasting. She's trying to, but she's getting hit. Boom, boom. So last ditch after, she's gonna try to crystallize Harribel. Now this is gonna be the deciding point. Harribel's gonna get crystallized, but the question is Harribel strong enough to maybe, because it puts him in a suspended animation. Is she powerful enough to break out of the crystal and more or less end Carol Ferris, end Star Sapphire? That is a tricky notion, because we actually have an example of something similar happening in the manga with Hitsugaya when he summons the giant pillar of snow, basically frees her in the column. Now I can't remember if it was the giant. Oh man, was it the flippin' giant hollow that released her? I don't think it was the giant hollow that Wonderwise brought that released her. I think she just broke out of herself. So she broke out of that herself. But she wasn't technically in a state of suspended animation. She was more or less conscious in that. Whereas in a state of suspended animation, you'd be unconscious more or less. And she did have to take some time out of her time to work her way out of that. So if I were to be a betting man right now, just because of the level of an opponent that the last three Espada are, I'm gonna say that yes, she can break out of that with her spiritual energy, like she did like with Hitsugaya. However, I'd say there's also probability that she could just be knocked unconscious due to state of suspended animation. So this is essentially the deciding factor. And what percentage of the times is she capable of breaking out of the crystal structure? Because at that point, if she breaks out of the crystalline prison, Star Sapphire is going to be probably flabbergasted, and that's when she probably goes in for the kill and like slashes her in half or something like that. So that more or less, assuming in the scenarios where she breaks out, that's how that fight ends. In the scenarios where she doesn't and she's stuck in suspended animation, that's how the fight ends for Star Sapphire. That's how she wins. The question is, what is the more likely of the scenario to say who wins? If I were to be a betting man, I would say the more likely scenario is the Harribel scenario, where she basically breaks out due to just her sheer force of sacrifice and energy and all that. She just, she explodes the crystal prison. But I say that due to the Hitsugaya feat. But because suspended, we can't confirm she was in suspended animation or not. That's the thing. If I were to be a bet man, I'd say she was not. I would lean more towards Harribel in this. I would. So in terms of the percentage, though, I'd say it's close. It's very, very close. I would probably go about 60-40 in favor of Harribel, but it's a close match in this one. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that fight. I think it's about a 40-60 split in favor of Harribel. Harribel, I think, comes out the winner a little bit more often than Star Sapphire does, but it's a close match. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put it in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Nothing really much to go off on movie news. I mean, they showed some images of J.K. Simmons at the gym working out for Commissioner Gordon, and Jesus Christ, is he getting in shape? But I don't know why per se. I don't really think there needs to be a video on that. Apart from that, I will have a superhero video tomorrow. And I will probably Now You See Me 2 review up tomorrow, because I can't catch Warcraft or Conjuring 2. Warcraft, I guess I'll do on Friday, assuming that there's a showing after 9:30 when I get off work. So we'll see how that. I'm definitely catching Warcraft. If nothing else, I'll catch it Saturday night after I get back from my family trip that we're doing on that day. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And of course, movie news will be on or movie news. Box office report will be on Sunday. So thanks for watching. See you next time.